and you were like, you gonna discuss about the UIF. And I've seen on a
Yes.
lot of other platforms where the Zimbos are like, how are we gonna apply? And I'm like, I
Yes.
feel so sorry, because your employer is the first person who should tell you what is the process. But now
Mm.
I casted my mind back during the start of the COVID. Most of the foreigners got affected because these scams, they will deduct their money and they will never
Yeah.
submit it to the Department of Labor. And right now, most of them are not even gonna get it
They
because
won't.
their status of leaving. You must remember, when you resign, you can't submit UIF. You only get it when they retrench you, or when you are on maternity leave. There are some other issues that, or either how can I put it?
It's
There
so
are some,
tricky.
yeah,
What?
they ask, yes, you can pay, you can work for a company for 10 years and pay UIF, but when you resign, you are not going to get anything because you are the one who left the job. It only covers you when you have been retrenched. So now I'm worried how many
So
Zimbos their employers are gonna say, "Oh no, we are retrenching you," or either your contract is ending now in December.
wow.
Most of them, they don't know, especially those that are doing the minimal job. It's so
Wow.
sad. It's so sad.
Yeah, you are right because I got some, some inquiries in my inbox because they talk about this. Some other Zimbabweans who were concerned, like, how is no one is talking about this? How are we going to go about and everything? Because some of us were not going to be able to meet the new requirements, when December comes. But so what is going to happen with our money? Is it like you are leaving your job, or are you retiring, or so
Exactly.
now that's what
They
you're explaining.
were they employed under contract? Because if it's contract, they will be like, no, we're terminating your contract. Then they will qualify. They've got 6 months to apply for it. Or either the employer can be like, since they say you are no longer fit to work for me, especially those who are domestic workers, and then they can say, all right, let me just put that your contract has come to an end, so that you can. And others, you must remember, as much as they were working, especially on those other unskilled job, it depends how many hours were you putting. Your employer can deduct that money and not give it to you and put it in his or her pocket and say, no, you were not working for
Mm.
the full 20 hours per month, because
It's a tricky
you should
situation.
work for certain hours to qualify for it.
Mm.
It's so dicey. It's so dicey, and most of them are gonna lose.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. I think that I think so. People have got real concerns about that because they don't understand what is going to happen. I think a lot of people they are thinking like, okay, if I fail to renew my visa, obviously the company has to pay me my money, and then I go. But the company, they can play around with.
You know where they need to be wise, the one that it's guaranteed. If they were debiting the money for provident fund, and then they must make sure that they claim, they must make sure, or either found out which insurance company, the company that they are working for, they were using, where their money, because
Mm.
every year they normally get the information, so that you can also see that, okay, I've made so many thousands, and then the very same amount that you have accumulated, the company also put the same amount, so it doubles up, you see.
Mm.
So that
I
one
think
is guaranteed.
yeah,
But with
really,
the
that is the
you
topic that we wanted to talk about today. But because I was hoping to have someone, a guest, to help us understand, but they failed to show up. This is when I just decided to do a random, a
okay,
random. Yes, this because a lot of people they really want to know. Some people they don't even know the procedure or anything. They just know that they've got the money that they've been paying. you know but
yeah.
all this thing of say you're working on
I-
contract, you're working hours, the insurance companies, the termination of your contract, all those kind of stuff.
or resignation, because if you are like, no, my papers are my ZEP is coming to an end on the 31st. I won't be able to come back on the 3rd or the 4th of January. And then your boss can be like, now, what must I do? Or no, I want to go home. Okay, then bye bye. I'll get somebody. That
You are
means that
resigning.
you are resigning. So automatically you are gonna forfeit. And there's a lot of them who got affected when the COVID started, Ziggy, because they didn't know. They knew that their bosses were deducting that money, but when they were supposed to submit so that they can get something, because all of us were getting paid when we're at home through via labor department. Most of the foreigners, they didn't get paid because the people that they are working for, they were so dishonest to them,
Mm-hmm.
so they
Mm-hmm.
manipulated them, which is bad. I saw in most of the other medias, people are just worried, and you will find others even asking a simple thing about the waiver, and I'm like, what are you wavering on a ZEP? There's nothing to waiver. You have been given the chance up until December. People are charging them monies, the 400, the 1,000 and something, just to tell them whether they are getting exploited. Other people are just seeing business out of them, and these are the
Mm.
people that were here working hard, not to maintain themselves but to maintain even another home back home, which
It's
is so
true.
sad.
It's true. Yeah,
That's
I
the
think
mentality of a
a lot
black
of people are
person,
going to be
because
exploited. Yeah, a lot of people
exactly,
are going to be exploited with this
they are
because
exploiting them right now. They are even using the people that, like you, we know that you are a vlogger, and then we can communicate with you. We end up, that's why us black people, we trust so easily. And I'm like, oh, I trust Ziggy. I know Ziggy. It's like I
mm,
know you via this computer, and I'll be like, no,
yeah,
I can trust Ziggy. And thereafter, the very same people will be like, how many followers do you have? Oh, I've got 10,000. All right, most of them are Zimbabweans. Let's start this. There's a company, PAS. I Google it, Ziggy. They are having workshop every day. People go there, are paying 450, and thereafter again, when they submit their forms, 1,500. It's 2,000 and something. And I checked that company. It doesn't even exist. It
yes,
doesn't exist. But people are paying money. You see how people
mm,
are getting affected. It's so
yeah,
sad,
it's
man. Things that we do towards each other sometimes, it's so inhuman.
mm,
Yeah, what can we say?
nothing. Especially when it comes to this issue of employment and not, sometimes like I think the reason why again most people are not going to get anything. I think it's also they did not really sign these what do you call them, work
Contracts,
contracts. Yeah, they just started to
which
work.
is illegal according to the South African labor law. You need
Mm,
to know, because if you didn't sign a contract, how do you know where your right starts and where it ends? They can make you to work for more than 8 hours a day, which is illegal here in South Africa, and not
mm,
pay you, because immediately after you work overtime, you must get paid.
mm.
Oh, people are exploited.
They are.
Are
They are,
exploited. It's
especially
so sad.
in the coming months, because as we go into December, the coming months, people are becoming desperate. They want information. They're trying to find ways of how they can go about things, new applications, everything. So yeah, people are going to lose a lot of money.
Continue with my comment. I just needed to mention something pertaining to the unemployment insurance fund in respect to the
Yes.
Zimbabwean startup. Guys, the first thing to do for anyone is that the moment you get some kind of employment and you are confirmed that you have been registered and there is a deduction, you need to follow up with the required institution or organization. In the context of
Mm,
UIF, it will be the Department of Labor. Don't know the new name, but it will be the Department of Labor. You take your documents, you go to just confirm that someone or your employer has been paying the deductions made. It is very important because I can assure you, at lower level, 90% of all the Zimbabweans are not even registered with the Department of Labor in South Africa. Yet there are deductions made. It is going to shock many come December, and I don't know what the courts will say in respect to their payments. But the likelihood is that it's going to be a shock to their system when they realize that their employers have not been making the required payments.
Wow.
I mean, I, as a South African, I know so many South Africans, educated professionals, lawyers in court because of deductions that have been made or were alleged to have been made and paid to the different institutional departments. So if people could just get their documents and run to the nearest Department of Labor to just confirm, check now 6 months prior to the actual, process or termination of their ZEP, if any. Fine.
And
continue.
And you know what, so the other thing, even they don't even need to go to the Department of Labor. They can just log in on their system and then put in their ID number or whatever number that they are using in Zim as their ID number. It will automatically tell them. And I think the majority of them, they know, because remember when the pandemic started, most of them, they discover that their money has been deducted, but their employers never contributed that money on Department of Labor. They were not reflecting at all. So I don't think that they are going to be blindsided. They are aware, but they are in denial.